Renters, are your rental applications being denied over and over and over again and you can't quite figure out why? Well, here are some suggestions from a real estate professional that's on the other side of that application. I receive the applications, I review the applications, I submit them to the owner for their decision on these applications. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Edgar Serratos. I am the broker and owner of Also Cal Homes, based out of California, and I've been in the real estate industry for more than 23 years. That's a long time. In most cases, when your rental application is being denied, it's probably due to your income or credit or a combination of both. Speaking on credit, just keep in mind that in California, you cannot be denied just solely on your credit. That's not to say that it's not being reviewed. Secondly, the income. The rule of thumb for income is usually 3 times what the rent is. So, in other words, if you're looking for a place to rent and it's $2,000, you should have income of at least $6,000. Now, in my experience dealing with owners, in most cases, they're looking for the overall picture of your qualifications. So, if your credit's maybe not the greatest or your income is maybe not the greatest, but your overall picture is okay, then you're still going to be considered. What are the solutions? How do you fix your income? How do you fix your credit? Well, there's obvious solutions, right? If it's income, get another job, get a better paying job, get an additional job. But those are long term solutions. What do you do if you need a home now? As far as your credit, same thing. Improve your credit, pay off some stuff, take a look at it, maybe hire a consultant to help you with that and improve your credit. But again, long-term solutions. What do you do now? You need a place to stay now. Well, here are the suggestions that I have based off of my experience of dealing with owners and seeing what they think of whenever they're looking at an overall picture of an application. One of the solutions that you could have is a cosigner. Get a cosigner, someone that has better income than you or can improve on your income, your existing income, someone that has better credit than you. Hold on. Make sure that if you do this, you're going to commit to following the guidelines and the contracts, because that cosigner along with you on the ride for better or worse. So, absolute worst case scenario, there's an eviction involved. Guess who else is being named in that eviction? That cosigner. So, you better not put someone on that application if you don't plan on abiding and following that contract, right? And then after a year of on-time payments, you can remove that cosigner, just as long as the owner is willing to remove that cosigner as well. Same thing for income, all right? So whether it's an income issue, a credit issue, or maybe both, a cosigner is a great solution. Now, if it's an income problem, the other option, if the rule of thumb is 3 times the rent, then the other option is obviously find a place that's asking for less rent. So if you don't quite have the $6,000 to be able to rent out a $2,000 place, even though you think that you may, then maybe go to an area where the rents are a little bit less, maybe $1,500, and now you're within that 3 times. Now that's not a problem for you. But that's a possibility, maybe or maybe not. I don't know. It depends on your overall picture, your situation, right? Let's see here. The other option is to get ahead of the problem. In other words, look, you know that you don't have the greatest credit. You know that you don't have the greatest income. So what do? You get ahead of it. How do you get ahead of it? Is you prepare a letter of explanation, right? Mr. and Mrs. Owner, thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate you reviewing my application and my qualifications. You will notice that my credit history is not the greatest, or you will notice that my income is not the strongest. Now, take some responsibility. If your credit history is bad because you made bad decisions, then take the responsibility. Hey, listen, back in the day, I made some bad choices. Hey, listen, I was involved in a divorce situation, and unfortunately, it affected my credit. I started a business, and unfortunately, I lost the business, and it affected my credit. It's okay to say, hey, listen, I made a mistake. This is what I did. This is what I'm doing to fix that mistake. Or I made a mistake and I haven't done that anymore. Okay, that's okay. And the owner's willing to see that. So get ahead of it. But the other thing that you could do is you could also pivot. So what do I mean by pivot? I mean, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Owner, you'll see that my credit history is not the greatest. But let me show you this rental history. Let me show you this letter from my current landlord, and you'll see that my rental history is strong. This letter says that I've been paying my rent every month on time for the past 3 years. So while my credit history is not that great, not the greatest, rest assured that I will always put the rental ahead of everything else, as you can see with this proof from my current landlord. So that's the other option as well. So here's another thing that you could do to improve your situation. Show up. Yeah, show up to your appointment. If you call and you say, hey, listen, I would love to see this property, show up to your appointment. Don't be a no show. Okay. If you set up an appointment for 10 o'clock, then be there by 10 o'clock. Be there early. That's your ideal situation, right? That'll help improve. These people are serious. They're going to be here on time. If you can't make it, if you're running late, if you got a flat tire, whatever the case may be, communicate. You would be surprised how far constant communication goes. Hey, listen, I'm running late. I'm late. My GPS says I'm going to be there at 10:08 instead of 10 o'clock. Hey, I got a flat. I'm fixing it right now. I'm waiting for AAA. I could be there. Can I reschedule? Da 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 da. That communication goes a long way. Okay, now when you show up to these appointments, be presentable. Don't show up in Crocs and pajamas and stained t-shirts, because don't forget, these owners of these properties, for the most part, are not these big corporate companies that own millions and millions of rental properties that probably have never seen the inside of the house, right? These are just folks like you and me that maybe happen to, because of what their life situation is, they bought another house, and rather than sell the house, they're renting it out. So that person, what are they looking for? They're looking for someone that's going to pay the rent on time, and they're looking for someone that's going to take care of their house, right? Because that's their strong asset. If this house is worth 100,000, 350,000, it doesn't matter. You don't know what they went through to sacrifice to get that property, whether it was an easy jump into that property or not. It doesn't matter. What they're looking for is someone that's going to take care of the house. If you show up not caring how you look, then the impression that they're going to get, if you don't care how you look, then you're not going to care about this house. So look, like it or not, people do judge a book by its cover. Okay, whether it's wrong or right, it doesn't matter. The way I see it, we all judge. We just name it something differently, right? Mother's intuition, they're judging the situation. So instincts, that's because you're judging the situation. They're going to judge you too. So I'm not saying show up in a business suit. I'm just saying be presentable. Shake that person's hand, be able to communicate. That goes a long way. In conclusion, live your life how you want to live it, right? Your credit history is what it is now. Your income is what it is now, and you need a place now. So these suggestions are to help you now. So what do? You have issues with income, you could find a place that's cheaper, so then that way you're within that rule of thumb, that 3 times the rent rule of thumb. You can find a cosigner. If you have issues with credit, you can obviously improve your credit. Long-term solution. You can find a cosigner that help you with the credit history, and you can get ahead of it. Right, get ahead of it. Write a letter of explanation. Take some responsibility. You can also pivot. Right? Maybe credit history is not that great. Maybe income is not that great. But check this out, Mr. or Mrs. Owner. This is a lot better. Don't forget that these owners are looking for people that are going to be paying their rent on time and are going to be taking care of the property. This is your way of showing them that you're that person. The other suggestion is show up to your appointments, communicate with these showing agents, property managers, owners, whoever you're dealing with, right? Communicate with them. Hey, I'm gonna be late. Hey, I'm running early. Hey, this happened or that happened. That goes a long way. Be presentable. I'm not telling you to wear a business suit. I'm just telling you be presentable, because these people are looking at you, and yes, they are judging a book by its cover. By the way, the reason for this video is because currently I have homes available, and I am being presented with these scenarios, these questions, these no-shows, all this other stuff. And it got me thinking, I got to make this video. I got to put this information out there. Hopefully it helps you. Hopefully it puts you in a stronger position where although you might be weak in certain spots, you still have a great opportunity to be able to get into that home. If you have more questions, feel free to give me a call or find me through whatever social platform you're watching this video in. The other thing is, I do currently have a 2 bedroom, 1 bath, completely remodeled duplex apartment for 1750 in Victorville. Great area. I also have another home, a 3 bedroom, 2 bath in Victorville also, but the Phelan area. That's the house that looks like a dome. So keep an eye out because I may be submitting some marketing materials. You'll be able to see a lot more of this property because it is available now. And I just wrapped up, I put under contract 3 bedroom, 2 bath remodeled home in Adelanto. Great, wonderful family. I'm looking forward to working with them throughout this process. And I hope this information helps you and puts you in a better position. If you, like I said, if you have questions, feel free to get a hold of me. In the meantime, have an excellent, wonderful, amazing day. Talk to you soon.